What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Health Facts podcast. My name is Leon.
And I'm Jess. And here we talk about all things health and fitness and giving you the best tips to achieving your goals.
So, hope you enjoyed today's episode.
Let's get into it. Welcome back to the podcast.
Yes, Happy New Year. Welcome back to a new season. New year, new season.
2021.
Yes, we made it.
We made it. Whilst it's a new year, it's also important to reflect on the year that's gone.
Yes.
Even though it was a challenging year, it's also good to look back and just see that how much growth we have all made. We got through, well, we're still going through, but got through most of the challenging part.
Probably the hardest time, yeah.
The hardest time that anyone's ever had. And we got through it together as well. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's always important to reflect, but also welcome in the new year.
Yeah.
And thank God 2021 is here.
2020 is over with. So even though last year was very challenging, and that's a nice way to put it, just wanted to call it something else. But yeah, it's important to reflect. A lot of us might not have kept up to our habits or continued training properly and eating properly because a lot more was going on in the year. Yeah. But I'm sure if we can all dig in and think about things that we did improve on. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people became a lot more mentally tough with all the lockdowns and isolations and everything we had to go through. So it's good to just try and find some positives in the negatives that you go through. But yeah, hopefully we can move on from that and have a better year this year.
Yeah, for sure. I know I did a lot of reflecting last year.
Yeah.
I actually had the chance to really look at my personal values, look at what's most important to me, and set new goals for the new year.
Yeah, if anything, it was the perfect time for reflection.
Yes.
Everyone had so much time to do so. All right, so 2021, New Year's resolutions. We're going to start with that?
Yes. So this is around the time when everyone starts thinking about their New Year's resolutions, start setting those goals.
Most of the time, too extreme goals, like way out of people's reach.
Yeah, we want to help you set realistic goals that you can achieve, give you some tips and advice on how you can set those goals, what techniques work best, and achieving them this year.
Yeah, just a smarter way to set them and more of a realistic approach. And we're going to go into it soon, but making it specific as well, so you know exactly where you're going and what you have to do to get to these goals as well.
Yeah. So majority of people set New Year resolutions, and most of the time they don't stick. And reasons are because most of the time people set these goals, they're not realistic.
Yeah.
They don't have a time.
Or they're not too meaningful either.
Yeah, they're not. They're like goals like, oh, it'd be great to lose some weight this year.
But they're not fully committed to that.
No. There's no commitment. There's no specific time period. There's no measurement to take. Yeah. So we want to go into a great technique on how to set goals for the new year.
Yeah. So it's called SMART goal setting. Yeah. So SMART, so specific goal, a measurable goal, making sure it's achievable, realistic, and timely as well. So how long you're deciding to work on this goal and when you want to achieve it by. Yeah. So we'll break them down a little bit now.
Yeah, and this has been used in a lot of the corporate industry. So some people may have seen it before, but it is a really
This isn't
helpful,
anything new. It's just something
it is
people overlook.
Yeah, it's a really helpful technique on setting your goals for the new year. So we'll start with specific. So it's always important to be specific about your goals.
Yeah.
Whether that be, I want to lose 10 kilos within 3 months.
Yeah, that's very specific. The more specific, the better it is for you to dial in what you need to do to get there. So, like what you're saying, some people might be like, oh, I want to lose 10 kilos. But it's not important. They don't know when they want to do it by. And it's not very specific because they just have a number they've just chosen.
Yeah.
So it doesn't help just choosing anything randomly out of the air. Like, it has to be meaningful to you and specific to something that you actually want to do. something that you want to work towards.
Yeah. And it's also helpful when you think about your specific goals, think about why you want to achieve those goals. What does it mean to you?
Yeah, we can go into that in another episode because that's a big one, finding your
Yes.
why.
Yeah.
But yeah, having a strong why is going to help you through the harder times too, and make it a lot more, not so much easier, but better for you to stay consistent to your goal. Because if you don't have a true meaning of why you want to do it, you can easily skip days that you go into the gym, or sleep in on other days, or just eat a bit more rubbish food because you're not really thinking about that important goal of yours.
So specific. Be specific with your goals.
Yeah.
Even to the point where you can visualize and see yourself achieving
We were
those
going to get
goals.
into that in the next section, but probably important to say that now is writing it down as well. So being specific, writing it down and having it visually in front of you. Or it's more powerful like writing it out physically rather than just thinking about it or saying it to someone.
Yeah.
And checking up on that every day. We'll talk about that a bit more anyway after that. But yeah, write it down, be specific, have an image of what you want to achieve as well. And yeah, that'll help you. So that's the first step of being smart when you're goal setting.
The second step is making sure your goal is measurable. So how are you going to track your progress?
Yes. So progress tracking is important. And otherwise, how do you know where you're going if you're progressing at all?
Exactly.
So making it measurable, especially if it's a weight loss goal in particular, then your scales are going to be your best bet. But when we have goal setting with our clients, we try not to make it just about weight. Like it's other things they want to work on too. But that's just an example.
Yeah.
Having something measurable. Or otherwise, if it's like you want to reduce your waist circumference or something, obviously something measurable, you can have a tape measure and do your measurements every couple of months or however much that period is that you want to track it by.
Yeah.
So just making sure it's measurable though.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if it's a fitness or a strength goal, you might want to increase your bench press by 5 kilos. That's measurable because you can see your weight going up in the certain amount of time that you're trying to do it to.
Yeah.
So just making sure you're able to track that goal.
It's also good to be able to measure your progress. Have like a note or something that you can track where you're at each time you do measure your progress.
Yeah, like make
Whether
up a spreadsheet or something. Or
a spreadsheet in your iPhone or in your phone, whatever phone you might have.
Just writing it down once again. Yeah, notes.
Yeah, writing it in a diary, just to see how you're tracking.
Yeah, but actually tracking it is going to help. So yeah, making sure it's measurable.
The next one is making sure it's achievable.
Yeah. So this is something that people get. The next two, they probably don't pay too much attention to when they're setting their goals.
So if you're starting out at the gym, and you haven't been to the gym before, or you haven't been to the gym for a while and you're getting back into it, saying to yourself that I'm going to go to the gym every day is not really achievable. Because you're going to quickly burn out.
Yeah, burn out, fatigue too fast, make yourself sick, and
yeah,
you won't be able to maintain that. So, yeah.
But when thinking about achievable, it's also, you have to think about the obstacles. Are there any obstacles that might stop you from achieving your goals as well?
Yeah.
And identifying those obstacles, and are there ways around those obstacles?
And finally, that's what I was going to say. Making sure you can find a way around the obstacles, if there are obstacles. But yeah, making sure it's achievable and it's not just something that you know you can't achieve because there's so much in the way of you doing it.
Yeah.
Next one, realistic. This is probably the most important one people overlook because people obviously want to achieve a lot of things and sometimes they overestimate what they can do in a certain amount of time and it's just not a realistic goal that they've set.
Yeah.
For example, for me, I can say I'm going to go to the gym starting tomorrow and in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to gain 5 kilos of muscle. That's not very realistic. Although it might be nice to do it, it's not going to happen in that much time.
Yeah.
So making sure it's realistic. Same as weight loss or performance goals. Making sure it's a realistic thing that you can actually get to, not something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Any other examples of that?
I think you covered that really well. Spot on with that one. And I guess the last one is timely. So set a time for your goal.
And this ties in with specific as well and measurable a lot.
Exactly. So you want to set a time for your goal. Give yourself that deadline almost.
Yeah. Well, sometimes not so much deadline because a lot of people think about it as a deadline and they get scared because they're like, oh, I'm not sure if I can make this. But you need to look at it the other way. So if you set yourself, a lot of people do it with weddings or birthdays or events like that. They're great things to use. So just say you've got a wedding coming up in 3 months, you can use that. And whatever your goal is, so you can break that down within 3 months. You can break that down into just say you need to lose a certain amount in the 3 months. You can break that down to how much you need to be losing each month to reach that goal, and then what you have to do each week as well.
Yeah.
So it all ties into being measurable and specific as well.
Although like breaking it down, the process to writing all your goals out might seem like a lot, it really isn't. Once you write it out, you work it out.
Yeah.
You've set that.
That's the harder part.
Yeah,
and then it's
that's
easier
the hardest
to stick to
part. And then you've set your target for each week, each month.
Yeah.
Like.
But that's what helps the consistency as well.
Yeah.
Once you have the bigger picture sorted out, so just say this goal by this time, you can break it all down for each month, what you need to do, everything you need to do each week, and then you've got your daily goals set up from there. So you know how to check up on it and make sure you're along the lines to reaching that goal in the time that you've set it. So yeah, it might sound like a lot of work to do here, but this is what you need to do to be able to be more consistent with it and make sure you're on the right track too.
Yeah. And if those goals are really important to you, then
you'll make the time for it.
There. Yeah.
You could sit down and do this in like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
The hardest part is probably finding out the why you want to do it, and making sure it's a proper, meaningful reason.
Yeah. Yeah, and that brings into something that I read recently in a book that I'm reading. It's you put in 1% effort each day, just 1%. Over the whole year, you've increased you made 365% progress.
Yeah. If you're increasing whether it's your productivity or you're sticking to it more, or everything you put into your effort, your nutrition, you're learning how to track better, or training as well, sleeping better.
So that's a 365% improvement over 1 year. It all adds up. And everything you do each day adds up.
Yeah, and this is what we talk about when it comes to consistency. You're not trying to start your journey and get everything done in the first week. You're never going to be that person yet. You need to build up your habits slowly and change. And just like that, improving something 1% every single day until you got the habits down, everything's consistent, and then it makes the journey easier. Having the why, so reminding yourself why you're doing it, and building habits helps you stay a lot more consistent throughout the whole process too.
Yeah, and it's also important, along with that, don't try and aim to be perfect straight away.
No.
Because this is also a learning journey.
Yeah, and it's all going to be a long-term journey too. Yeah. So you're going to get better, you're going to get more consistent, you're going to learn more as you go too.
You're going to learn a lot within the first couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Learn a lot about yourself and your capabilities.
Yeah.
So, don't try and be perfect, and don't put yourself down because you don't seem like you're perfect.
Yeah.
No one's perfect.
Whoever is at the point they're at now has already gone through all of this. They've gone through that long journey. A lot of people you might look at that you aspire to look like or be like, or anyone in the fitness world that might be motivation to you, they've all done the same thing. People you see around the gym that look like they're just perfect and they're strong and they're doing everything, they've gone through all this too. Yeah, everyone's on their own journey, so that's...
it's okay to make mistakes and slip-ups, but we learn from them.
Being consistent, getting back on top of it, and then moving forward again is the best way to come back from little slip-ups and mistakes.
Yeah. So take small steps and build from there.
Exactly.
Cool.
All right. I think that pretty much covers the goal setting for today.
Yeah. Hopefully that helps you guys when setting your goals for the new year. It's not too late. You don't have to set goals.
And it's not even the New Year's. You can start, just because you haven't done anything, if you might not have done anything yet, or you've missed a few days, doesn't mean you just give up straight away.
Yeah.
You just need a proper plan on how to do it, and doing it like this is what's going to help you.
Yeah.
Make it all actually achievable and give you a plan to follow.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if you start on a Monday or the first of the month. You can start whenever.
Yeah.
You can start on a Wednesday, start on a Sunday. Doesn't matter. Just as long as you take the time to sit down, write through
plan
all
it
your
out,
goals.
Write it out.
Have it on a whiteboard sitting next to your desk or somewhere that you can visualize it every day. Well, hopefully this helped you guys. We'd love to hear about your goals for the new year.
Yeah. Let us know what your goals are for the year. You can message us on Instagram. What's our page?
Achieve Performance Fitness on Instagram.
Yeah.
Or search us up, Achieve Performance, on Facebook.
Yep. But yeah, happy to get the first episode done, and you can look forward to a new episode each week. So thanks for listening to this one. Send us any questions you might have, and we look forward to hearing about your goals for the year and how we can help you more.
Awesome.
All right. See you guys. See you in the next episode.
See ya.